lot of them are in your, I was looking at your Facebook page and some of your art, man. It's amazing. I love the Ronald Reagan drawing because it gives up this pointillist vibe, but also the old Ripley's Believe It or Not. Remember that used to be in the newspaper?
I used to get those books.
Yeah.
The comic, they put a compilation of a book, and I used to buy them.
That's awesome. And then I'll let these guys talk because obviously we want to talk about the show.
Well,
But
tell everybody about your cartoons.
One day I decided to just, because I'm a big history buff too, I decided to put a funny cartoon on the whiteboard, saying on this day this happened. And it got to a point where everybody wanted to see it every day. They were waiting to see what I was going to put on the next day. And, they were like quick 5-minute sketches that I just did on the whiteboard. And one of the things that I loved doing was I'd come up with, I'd look it up, like whatever fact, I'd look it up that day and try to come up with something funny right then and then just do it. And after a while, I kind of thought, what if I took more time, and drew it like nice? So I started doing that. And then I'm kind of working on trying to get like a whole year's worth, like 365 cartoons for every day. So
a book or a calendar, a daily calendar.
I'd like to do a book.
Yeah.
Books are hard to do, especially nowadays. Everybody's like, well, just put it online. But I actually like, feeling and seeing it and, looking at them and stuff. So hopefully I can get like just a coffee table book, Well,
I've always thought you can't take your computer to the bathroom with you. I'd rather have the book.
I take mine to the bathroom.
Well, tell us about the show, Jeff. I'm sure you have a lot of questions because you started watching the show when it came on. So we want to hear about the show, how it came to be, and your involvement with it.
Yeah. Of course, I built puppets, and I started doing that in Pittsburgh. And there was a guy that was there that was he's a ventriloquist. And he was on the peripheral of the entertainment industry. He used to do stand-up comedy with Judy Tenuta, who just passed away, and Emo Phillips. Mm-hmm. And he's done like commercials and stuff. But he saw Shauna one day, and he just went nuts. And he's like, "You need to get her into the entertainment industry." And I was like, "Why?" And he said, the people that get the most work are the people that are really small and the people that are really tall. And so at this time, I think she was maybe 15 or 16. And so I went to Shauna and I said, guy said this, what do you think? And she's like, not really interested. I said, well, if you're ever interested, let me know. And, she finished school. We ended up on Long Island, and all of a sudden she's like, could you get me into something, and I'm like, well, you're gonna need acting lessons, I think. So I went around looking for an acting school, and I found one that actually had working actors as the teachers. So she started going there, and right away they're like, she needs headshots. So they set us up with some woman in Manhattan, and so we went down there for Shauna's headshots, and this woman also ran an ethnic talent agency. And she said, can I represent Shauna? And, you have to talk to Shauna. And, Shauna says, all right. And the woman all of a sudden was like, well, what if we made a reality show about you? And we're like, let's see what you got. And she wrote this thing that it was kind of really contrived, had like Shauna Rae, we were going to go to an island somewhere, and they're going to sneak out and go party with the native boys and stuff. But we're like, and she shopped it around. She actually shopped it to TLC, and everybody's like, no, thanks. But then she ran, just like happenstance, ran across this guy that also was one of the people that found jazz, that from IAmJazz.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so he saw it and he said, let me work with them. So he jumped on and revamped everything. We did like a sizzle reel with him, and he asked us questions and all this stuff and did interviews. And then he took it to the production company that first did jazz. They liked it and sent it to TLC because that's who they work with. They also do the Seven Little Johnstons. And TLC said, here's $50,000. Go down with them and do like a proper sizzle reel. So they came up for 3 days and we did, interviews and stuff like that. And they had us eating dinner and fighting and stuff. And TLC signed us up for 6 episodes.
Uh-huh.
We waited a couple months and they renewed us for 10, and it's just starting to air now. So
it's a hit. It's a hit.
Yeah,
it's weird.
How's the reaction been from everybody?
It's cool. I mean, it's you think that you're going to be like followed around with cameras all the time, and it's not really like that. We tell them like things that we'd like to do, or things that we do, or what that we're going to do. Like one of the things that we wanted to do, and it's going to air in this season, was a lot of people wanted to meet Shauna. And so we were going to go to different places around Long Island that we filmed and do like a meet and greet. And one of the places was the brewery that Shauna went to with her friends. And so we were just going to go there, and Shauna was going to guest bartend, and my band was going to play, and it's just going to be a thing. And they said, well, can we film it? And I'm like, all right. So it's an episode now. So
oh, neat.
Nice.
Oh, tell everybody about your band too while you mentioned it.
Yeah. The band, well, this is just a cover band. I'm a trained drummer, but I taught myself guitar and keys. And in this band, I play guitar and keys and sing. But yeah, we just do like a lot of Darius Rucker and Neil Diamond and stuff like that. And
Neil Diamond sing?
Yeah. In fact, in Pittsburgh, I had a one-man show called Solitary Man. I actually like for about a year, I went around to karaoke contests and just sang "They're Coming to America," and I think I ended up with like $5,000 at the end of the year.
Wow!
Just with all these karaoke contests.
Can't go wrong with Neil Diamond.
Yeah, crowd pleasing music.
Now, were your parents into Neil Diamond, or did you get into him when you were older?
I always thought that the two best rock voices I ever heard were Neil Diamond and David Cassidy.
Wow.
I always thought that those two guys, if they had the right song, just could have rocked it. And so I always wanted to sound like Neil Diamond. And I went to karaoke and I was just singing like, Elton John and stuff. And everybody just kept saying, you sound like Neil Diamond singing Elton John. You sound like Neil Diamond doing this. And so I just started singing Neil Diamond.
Could you favor us with a little Neil Diamond? You don't have
my guitar.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Dry your eyes.
Well, here we go. I did. Will it begin? I can't begin to knowing.
Yeah.
But then I know it's growing strong.
That's pretty damn good. Now do all of the crunchy granola sweet from.
I actually do that song. It's a freaky song.
You do Suleiman. Sule.
I want to do that. That he does it so different all the time.
Yeah.
And I record my background music and then make MP3s of it, and then I play along with it just with my guitar.
Right.
So I have to come up with the right version.
My mom had that record. She had all of his records. She liked Elvis and Neil Diamond. She had 2 Beatles records, and I'd always say, Mom, why do you only have the first 2 Beatles records? And she'd answer, they got weird.
Yeah, and Neil is known as the Jewish Neil Diamond. I mean, the Jewish Elvis Presley.
Yes, yes. And you'd open that record, and he was just there with his jean jacket open and all of his hair, and hey, how you doing?
Yeah,
But it was always mesmerizing to me. The version of Hot August Nights on that, or not. That's not the name of the song. His brother loves traveling.
Oh, brother
Salvation
loves
Street.
traveling Salvation.
Yeah, I love that song. That's it.
Yeah.
Neil Diamond's great. He's still touring. I wonder. I don't know.
No,
he stopped. I think
he got diagnosed with Parkinson's.
Oh no.
So yeah, he just stopped because of that.
Well,
he was still putting on a hell of a show though when when he was touring.
Yeah. I got to see him one time. It was a hell of a. He put on a hell of a show.
You see him in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I did.
So that's when you grew up, Pittsburgh. Are you a Steelers fan?
Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah. We're Steelers fans. We're Penguins fans, but we like the Yankees.
Sweet. A Yankees
That's a
fan.
McNaney thing.
What? No. The Yankees all like the Red Sox, Jeff. The ones in my side.
Well, apparently my grandfather, I guess his name was Edward.
Mm-hmm.
He hated the Yankees, apparently.
I think all of them did.
Yeah.
Brother John is my granddad. Yeah. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then they had a brother named Jay who was in World War II and also Korea, and he was a tank commander.
Wow.
And he would always tell, I don't like the Yankees. Okay, you don't like it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a big baseball fan to begin with, so I really don't have a.
But you gotta love the Steelers, you know.
Oh yeah.
I got saddled with the Bills, so what are you gonna do?
My family moved to Pittsburgh in 1970, and my father bought season tickets to the Steelers that year.
Whoa!
And that's when they just took off. And now people get bequeathed season tickets. You can't get season tickets for the Steelers,
even in the new stadium, right? It's just impossible.
it's all sold out.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's crazy.
Artist and musician and singer and
puppeteer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just a renaissance man.
You make the puppets too, which is awesome.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that Shauna is the reason why I actually started building puppets. She used to like hurt people. She'd like hit you and you go, and she'd like laugh her ass off.
Yeah.
And one day I was playing with an animal puppet that I had that I used to hang on my drum set, and she hit him, and he got mad that he hit her and that she hit him, and she got upset. And so I was talking to Patty, like, maybe I need more puppets to kind of, give her different personalities. And I was really into the Muppets when I was growing up. And so I was looking online, and all the puppets just kind of sucked. So I kind of looked into how to build your own puppets, and I just started building them. And I built like Grover, and we'd play with him for a while, and somebody saw him and bought him. So I built another one. Somebody saw him and bought him. And I built Kermit, and somebody saw him and bought him. And I built a few Cookie Monsters. And so I was like, damn. So I started designing my own puppets, and then, designed a show, and the rest is history.
And you're still doing the shows, the puppet shows?
Yeah, I haven't done one lately. COVID kind of killed that.
Yeah.
There was a puppet theater on the island that I used to go and do shows, and he closed down. And so one of my goals is to maybe open my own. That's what I'd like to do.
That'd be awesome. If you ever get to Atlanta, you should check out the Center for Puppetry Art.
Oh, definitely want to do that. Yeah.
They have a cool museum there.
Yeah, they got a bunch of the Sesame Street puppets. Yeah,
a lot of Jim Henson's down there.
Now I'd like to hear like how you and Patty met.
I was doing karaoke, and this woman had a karaoke business, and she was running karaoke at this place in Pittsburgh, and she wasn't getting a lot of people singing, and so she asked me to come up and sing. So I went up there, and it was Patty worked there, and Patty comes walking out after her shift. She was a server there, and she knew the woman, and Patty walks right up into the circle of people and just start taking over the conversation. And I was wearing this black shirt with silver skulls on it, and she just kind of looked at me and said, "Nice shirt." And I said, "I have underwear to match." And we just kind of hit it off, and we started out as kind of friends. She was actually trying to set me up with some friends of hers, and then she saw this. She saw I was singing a song. It was "Shameless" by Garth Brooks. I was singing it, and this girl comes up that she was trying to hook me up with, and she just started like hugging on my leg. And Patty came over and kind of hip check her off of me, and kind of claimed me. So from that point on, we were together.
And when did you move to Long Island from Pittsburgh?
Well, we first moved to Philly.
Philly, okay.
It was January 2016. We moved from Pittsburgh to Philly. Patty works for Nordstrom, and she was offered the assistant manager position, in Philadelphia.
Cool.
And Puppet Show, I could take it anywhere. So said, yeah, let's go. So we moved to Philly. Hated it.
Pittsburgh's actually a more relaxed city, I think, and it's not as big.
Yeah.
Getting around Pittsburgh, it's cooler, I think, artsier.
Yeah.
But people are definitely friendlier in Pittsburgh than they are in Philadelphia.
Yeah, we learned that. And the place where we moved to in Philly, in Pittsburgh, that would have been about a half hour away. In Philly, it was an hour.
Yeah.
And Patty worked there, and then a manager got injured in the Nordstrom in Long Island, and they asked Patty to come fill in. So for 3 months, Patty was driving from Philly to Long Island and then back every day.
Every day?
Yeah.
What was that, 2 hours?
3.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
We bought a new car, and by the time she was done, it had 93,000 miles on it. And the person, I guess, it hurt the back, and they kept saying they're coming back, and then they weren't. They couldn't. And finally, they just asked Patty to take over. So I guess it was 5 years ago we moved here to Long. Well, not here. I'm in Massachusetts right now, but to Long Island. Yeah, I also inspect wood packaging material for international shipping. But the schedule that I have, I kind of make it my own hours. But if I do like everything condensed, it's like a week and a half of work, and then the rest of the month I can have off.
And then you can be creative and do what you want to do. I mean,
yeah.
I really want people to check out your artwork. So we'll include links. You have some of it on your Instagram and on your Facebook, but it's really cool stuff. And
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. Point everybody to your social medias and stuff if you want to.
Well, I actually on Instagram, I'm on this day cartoons. And I'm also just Mark Schrankel on Facebook. I don't really do anything on Twitter. I've never understood Twitter.
that'll be dead soon anyway. You don't have to worry.
You won't have to worry about Twitter too much longer.
Yeah.
How's the reception been around your friends, your group of friends, with this sudden burst of popularity, you being in the limelight? I mean, as much as you are with the family, but still, what's that like?
In school, I was the guy that was in the plays and had a band and stuff. And so a lot of my friends aren't surprised that I'm on TV now. I think they're surprised that I'm not bitching that I'm not the focus.
I would totally watch a show with you as the focus. I've been saying that since episode 1 of IAmShaunaRae, that you need your own spinoff.
Yeah. Believe me, I've talked to them about it. But yeah, it's kind of cool. The thing that they like is that we're just ourselves. You know, we do a lot of Instagram lives on Shauna's Instagram, and you know, Shauna and Riley does a lot of it, and then Patty and I jump in like the last half hour. And what I love about it is that people get to see that who we are on the show is who we are. You know, there's a lot of people, especially the first season, they kept saying, "Oh, you know, it's all scripted. They're not that funny. They're giving them lines." And no, it's us. You know, they just say, "Go," and we do it. And you know, we all talked about it before we started filming. I said, "Look, if we're going to do this, you just have to be genuine. You know, if you get pissed, get pissed. You know, if you want to, you know, say a smart ass answer, say a smart ass answer. You know, and at best, you know, they'll love it. At worst, they'll edit the hell out of it."
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I don't think those reality shows could be successful unless the people on them are compelling. I mean, that's the thing. Like, oh, anybody could be on a reality show. Well, if you're boring and you don't have the ability to think on your feet and, you know, even have a little bit of ability to improv, then it's not going to be a good show. I did a sizzle reel about 12 years ago for a radio show that I was on, a morning show, and it didn't go. But that was one of the things. Some of the people weren't able to be spontaneous, and other people were. And we all didn't really like each other anyway. So, you know, the other thing is you have to like each other too. You can't force it. So.
Or at least you act really well that you like each other. No, but I mean, like, especially like Riley's always been naturally funny. Patty is really funny. Tara used to always crack us up because she's really smart, but she says like the dumbest stuff all the time. And Shauna really caught, because, you know, I've always been kind of a smart ass, and she has a really quick wit, you know, and so we love sparring sometimes, you know, and sometimes they'll put it on the air, sometimes they won't, but you know, like, okay, it already filmed, it already aired. So like this season, Shauna had that date with Tommy, and they're sitting at the table, and Riley and I are at the counter, and you know, everybody's like, "Oh, they're eavesdropping," and I really wish they would have put this on there, because all Riley and I were talking about, because I was sitting there and all of a sudden I just asked Riley, I said, "Straw, does it have one hole or two?" And then it was we had a whole discussion about it. The ladies right down the counter from us started hearing it, and it was a huge discussion.
That's cool.
I ended up Googling it, and it's one hole. But Riley still to this day argues it's two holes because you can put your finger in both sides.
Now, are you an actor yourself? I was looking at the IMDb, and you have a credit on something that's filming. If you can't talk about it, that's fine.
No, I used to be in plays a lot, and I before the season started filming, I was auditioning, you know, people, and I auditioned for it's a TV series that's going to be coming out on HBO. It's called The Girls on the Bus.
Okay.
Melissa Benoit, I don't know how to say her last name. She played
Supergirl.
Yeah. A woman named Carla, who was on I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Gerald's Game.
Yeah.
She played the woman on that. Yeah. But they're two of the main characters, and I played a bus driver.
Yeah, all right.
That's awesome. And that'll come out next year?
Yeah, because they're still filming it. I just had a scene. So I was a bus driver. Very cool. Excited to get to Iowa Caucus.
The Iowa Caucus.
Yeah. I was the guy driving them there, and I got all excited about it.
Well,
yeah, tell everybody what we can look forward to coming up this season.
Because we want to keep promoting it and promote the stuff that you're doing too.
Well, this season Shauna has two guys that are in the hot seat. We already met Tommy, and Dan has been teased.
And
And
we need to vet this Dan guy.
Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be and in fact that at that Jamesport Brewery episode, they both end up at the same place.
Oh wow!
Oh. You got a Happy Days episode happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know Shauna and Riley are talking about moving out. Maybe that'll happen down the road.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the thing with them is that
I don't know how Riley's going to come up with $10,000 a month for the water bill, though.
I want to come up with her own water. It's a case with just one bottle in it. Yeah. I couldn't believe that. But yeah, I mean, they have to get themselves set up first. Especially Long Island. If we're staying there, it's one of those things that well, I mean, in that thing with Tommy, Shauna asked Tommy. And he said, I'm still living at home because it's expensive to live on Long Island.
Mm-hmm.
With those two, I would rather them get themselves set up for, education, job, stuff like that, than get out of the house. And my goal is that they don't come back.
Yeah.
Once you're gone, you stay gone.
Yes. Empty nest time.
Yeah. And honestly, I mean, there's another daughter that is not on the show.
Okay.
My daughter from previous marriage, she lives in Philadelphia. She's a teacher there. And one of the things that Patty and I had always stressed to all of them is that they should all get a college degree. Right. Because, if you don't, you're just going to constantly be spitting in the wind, and our first two, I think they both have two masters, and Tara's going for a doctorate.
Wow.
And Shauna wanted to take a year off 5 years later. But I think that she just needed time to figure out what she wanted to do, and we were willing to give her that time. And with the show, she did get the opportunity to meet somebody who worked for Tommy Hilfiger and was a designer on Broadway, and she's unbelievable. And Shauna got to meet her and show her some of her designs and stuff like that. And she's setting her on the right path for that kind of a thing. And Riley, I think that this is starting to open her eyes that, she needs to, as scared as she is to drive, she needs to drive, because there's stuff that she wants to do, and not everybody has the time to just drive her ass everywhere. I mean, half the time, that's why you see me on the show. I'm just driving them someplace.
Right. Is there going to be a third season?
Yeah. Have you heard yet? Knock on wood.
They don't tell you.
Okay.
I mean, last season, and the thing is that, when they came on this season, they're like, TLC is #1 new show. Like, it was #1. Why did it take you so long to renew it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I was hoping it wasn't going to be like a year in between seasons. I mean, it's not quite a year, but the first episode ever aired January 11th. So
yeah,
it's close. And hopefully they'll see.
That's why they need that Mark spinoff for the off season.
I know. Well, and if you look on Discovery Plus, there's like these inside the episode things, and if you look behind, there's like this painting, and I did the painting. They're gonna like buy a painting, and I'm like, the hell are you buying a painting for? Like, well, we need work here, and we won't look like that. And I'm like, buy me the stuff, I'll do it.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
and you know, it's funny because Shauna has a lot of people following her on Instagram, and one of them is the band Smash Mouth, and they got a hold of her, and they're like, you know, why aren't you guys putting your own music on the show? And I went to our agent. I'm like, yeah, why is my music on the show? They're using all this other music. I'm like, and so that we're like, well, that's a season 3 thing we'll talk about. You know, so hopefully, you know, if Shauna goes, you know, to school or whatever, and you know, I'm sure that at some point, you know, Patty and I are going to get, you know, less and less time on, and you know, I'm constantly like giving them ideas and stuff like that, you know, so I don't mind doing that. And if I can put, you know, if they say we need this kind of a song or this kind of a feel, then I'll be more than happy to just sit back and in my basement and make music.
It could be the new Cow Sills.
Yeah.
Get a bus that you could drive. No, I'm just kidding. And go on tour. And you would need a room.
If we had somebody else that was like, Riley sings really well, but like, yeah, I mean, Shauna can't sing a lick. She's tried. We're like, yeah, no.
Well, Mark, thank you very much, man. It's really awesome to meet you, and I knew it. You're McNaney with that drawing ability, just the complete artistic ability that you have.
It's crazy. And you know, I mean, do you guys have long distance runners in your family?
McNaney's?
Yeah.
No, but we had a couple of athletes. Oh no, yeah, a couple of athletes.
Because I know that Edward, Gary's father, was a long distance runner, and then his daughters were both long distance runners, and their kids. Well, I was a long distance runner, and I still have records in Pittsburgh that haven't been beaten.
Wow.
And again, that's nothing that was in the family I was in. You just tripped into it, and then I find out that, oh no, that's just a thing that we do.
Well, they were big in basketball in Mansfield, PA, and then my two uncles there from Mansfield, Pennsylvania, they're both really good at basketball, and one of my uncle's sons got drafted by the Orioles in the late 80s, early 90s. So a lot of athletes. I wasn't an athlete. I like to eat and watch TV. And
I mean, I look like I ate Neil Diamond right now, but I mean, when I graduated high school, I weighed 135 pounds. I was a runner all the way.
IAmShaunaRae, Tuesdays, 10 o'clock on TLC.
Yeah. It's just gonna get more fun from here.
there you go.
All right, guys. Hey, thank you so much. I really appreciate this.